Welcome everybody. This is now the Q&A portion of the IDPP presentation. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Lou, and thank you, Lisa, for attending the lecture tonight. I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yes, all right. My question is, who's the target audience for this in terms of getting people to participate in the future project?
Excellent question. Lee, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sam. I want to hear the rest of the question.
I'm sorry. Okay.
That may help.
I'm just curious in terms of getting people to participate down the road in the 4 hour of online learning for this project. Who's the target audience? Who would this appeal to?
Well, excellent question. I'm going to take advantage of somebody that I feel may readily represent the target audience. Lisa and I spoke on Tuesday about helping put together an area level content. Lisa went to the session with Scott. I went to the session with Scott. Scott, I don't know if he has shared it yet because of me being the one member of the videographer committee, Sam. Scott gave me some great information and I started jumping through links. Of course, Toastmaster has 5-page guidelines on how to run the contest and then how to record it. I mean, there is so much stuff. So if you ask me about the audience, I feel the audience is both people like us, volunteer area directors that are now wondering, how are we going to do this? I feel that offering them, hey, there is a group that's trying to get ready for the district because I hope it's not going to end up being a one-man job. But, you know, by offering them, how can we help you understand the techniques and the minutia and the details, spread the word, hey, here are the guidelines. To me, that's the target audience. It's area and division directors that could use a hand with putting together the speech conference. And ideally, by the time the spring conference starts to run, that when they ask, hey, how about the video, they will hear, oh, yes, the PRM team, the videographer there, he's working already with a couple of area directors. They're drafting our own recipe, if you will, our own, you know, playbook based on the guidelines. So the goal is to support the district contest. In the meanwhile, as Scott urged us, this is how we practice. Hey, you know, would you like to record your speech? You know, like we've done, you and I, Sam, at Lot. You know, do we want to save these leaders forum? Encourage people, hey, you know, you have something to offer. Show the world your own version of the club experience. So it's two sides of one coin. Does that make sense? Of the same coin.
I think I would add that I could see the target audience being the VPs of PR for all of the clubs, because ideally the goal is that Zoom and virtual meetings is not going to go away all of a sudden because people have gotten used to this online platform. And so having trainings that people can easily digest and participate in will give our district a uniform opportunity for sharing what Toastmasters is about. And also from a personal standpoint, putting the speaking opportunities up on LinkedIn builds your professional portfolio. So I see this as this is good for individual members to take. It's good for VPPR to take. It's good for district leadership to take, because we need to be doing a better job of capturing what modern Toastmasters is about. To that point, Francisco, I have a question for you. So
Perfect.
you
Thank you,
mentioned,
Lisa, for that. Thank you for that elaboration. That was awesome. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
of course. So one of the things that has come up in our club that I'm wondering might, is it the idea that you would use Google because most people have access to Google? Because there are a lot of businesses that block Google Drive platforms. So
Lisa,
will you have examples of non-Google options for people to see as well?
excellent question. And to me, there is an answer. I know it sounds maybe a little highfalutin. Somebody wrote, policies are many and principles are few. And principles are as ephemeral as, policies are as ephemeral as principles are timeless. So my point is, I suggested these delivery resources, these instructional resources, because they're free. However, as you pointed out, I cannot use half of them at work, okay? But trust me, everything I'm learning here, I'm trying to see if I can use it at Teams. I know that there was a member of the PRM team. I believe he's no longer functioning as such, or maybe he moved to do that to help with find what else can we use besides Zoom, because Zoom is a paid product. So to me, the principle, can we explain to people, whatever you're using, GoToMeeting, WebEx, Zoom, Teams, and you pin down, the main speaker, so that even if somebody, for example, this is just an illustration, even if somebody forgets to mute themselves or the host forgets to mute them, I know both apps will let you pin. And as we all know, apps mirror themselves to a large extent. So I just pick things that are free. I'm pretty agnostic. I'm the guy that uses iPhone, Android, PC, because at the end of the day, the principle behind it is, can I get something done? And in this case, can I get a recording done? It will be different, but I think if we agree on the principles of branding, producing and curating, which is going to happen, in those three places that I made the suggestion of, it can be translated. It can be easily, when we focus on the principles, anybody using any other tool should be able to, so this is how I do it somewhere else. And the delivery through social network-based learning is going to help us come together in places like Facebook, where people can ask those type of questions, and hopefully a community will be there to, yes, you can do the same thing, for example, on Google Meet. You just have to click here and there. Does that make sense, Lisa? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you. That's your cue, Lou.
Well, sure. So, question that I had, so, we've had some training that Scott has rolled out, is for the overall project. Is the overall project more specifically how to run district level contests, or is it how to train individual clubs to run club level contests? Is it both?
Yes, let me share. If I go here to the presentation, I'm going to use my documentation. When we look at the timeline, I have, I don't know if I can zoom in, but I don't think I should even try. When we look here, and I'm be more than happy to resend this, anybody who needs it, but actually the presentation hasn't seen the light of day. But right here, Lou, where you see the implementation, they ask us for
Okay, you've got club area.
instructional design. club area and division. Yes, the plan is to find the Zoom masters at those levels, at the club, at the area and division that could use a hand or could help us figure this out because, again, some people may have done it before in other places. So I want to find both people who have done it and people who want to learn how to do it. But the ultimate goal is to be able to deliver at the time of the district speech contest the support necessary. The practice portion, and that may extend, right now, as you guys see me doing this, can we bring this to our clubs and even use this as an opportunity? Hey, we're already meeting on a platform. See, I'm trying to be agnostic. How do we record this? And how can we use that for PR? And with that, I would say expedient means of, oh, this is something else that's in the app. We haven't used it before. We haven't pressed that button. Oh, look at all the details and look how much of a polished product comes out of this, Lou. So the goal of the training is to follow the guidelines and explain how to do it because that's the most complex thing. But in order to encourage people to try and to practice, is that I'm suggesting the levels of club contest, area, division, and then personal. Because to me, that's like drafting. People can draft and learn to sketch personally at their club level. And through that, oh, we recorded, we put it here, we saved the file. Oh, that's going to help us eventually submit it to a next level for review. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think the reason I was asking if the scope applied to club level as well is for clubs that may be going to a hybrid format, have we explored, because all the district level ones are going to be online only, yeah, Sam's waving his hand, so.
Everything is online. It's everything. All contests online. That's why.
Okay.
That's what I heard from when I attended Scott's session.
Okay, so even club level ones will be held.
It's got to be all, yeah, no hybrid.
Okay, all right.
It's going to be all online.
Yeah, I haven't seen Scott's presentation yet, so just wanted to know. It just so happens that depending on how things go with some of the district sponsoring of accounts through the end of this calendar year, then the club level contest season kicks off in January, right when some clubs may possibly be losing Zoom access. So that was one of the considerations, as some clubs have gone to physical meetings or hybrid meetings if they are able to still do a contest through that way.
I think the answer echo what Sam said. What I heard is that, sure, your club is doing what it's doing, but for the contest, is you have to bring people from other places, and in order to perhaps respect or set a guideline, you know what, we're going to keep it social distance. And this is just me, my interpretation is also just to raise the bar and for us to learn to do this and kind of like cross that off and say, hey, you know what, at the district level, we did a handful of this and we were prepared. I think raising that bar and doing it at club, area, and division is going to create a critical mass, if you will, of people, no matter what platform. Pretty sure we're going to do it on Zoom, but they're going to understand the principles of what it takes to create that file. And very important, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm going to try to share it later as I send the recordings and the slide and all that. There is a subset, not only, there's a document on how to submit the file, almost 2 pages long. But then there's another one about the actual recording. And as I understand it, it won't be like this. We will have to encourage people, and look at my camera, by the way, how it's fluttering. So I really need a new camera. I've been watching that. We're supposed to record the whole stage. So that by itself, that's another hour of training that explain, hey, place your camera on a tripod, put it far away, check your lighting, practice. Me personally, I got an old laptop. The other day I was doing something. I had The laptop on the side, it wasn't a laptop, it was a video recorder. So to explain that to the contestants, you know, you were asking me about the audience. I think the contestants would like to perk up their ears and maybe watch an hour on, hey, this is how you set yourself up, not just for a traditional Zoom, you know, medium shot. This is a full shot. And you're gonna have to, you know, practice on a stage area, you know, in order to meet the guidelines from international. So contestants themselves, I hope that we can produce an hour of explanations and content and you know, illustrate, if you will, those 2 hours of those 2 pages of guidelines. Does that make sense?
So basically what you're saying is we're all going to be embracing our inner YouTube star.
Lisa, 2024, in case you missed it, it's going to be the 100th year of this organization. It's going to happen, you know, regardless. We will grow into that. I think the hybrid mode will be a choice that many clubs are enthusiastically going to retain for a host of reasons. This may be a reason because, gosh, the other day I did a visit, by the way. I think I said this before, Lisa may have heard it. The best 5 to 7 minutes on how to establish a social media presence. I was like, wow, it was so good. It wasn't recorded. I mean, it was such a beautiful speech, 5 to 7 minutes, so well organized. The first time I go to this club and I'm like, hit record. I can't, I'm a guest. I'm just the area director, but I think this could be a catalyst, as you said, YouTube stars, YouTubers, aficionado, you know, directors, however you want to call it. But I hope it catches on. Okay, we're almost at 18 minutes, and it's almost 8 o'clock. I think I have enough for my schoolwork. I sincerely appreciate you know, your being here. I think we covered a lot of material. I'm glad the audience, Lisa, you know, now you know why I was so happy when you decided to join forces within the division. I hope when people see that we're getting going, you know, they ask, and Lou and Sam, you know a lot of people. I don't know who the next PRM is going to be. As soon as I find out, we'll share this with them. Scott, I invited him today. Obviously, he's busy, but we did have a conversation about this, about, you know, me as a videographer, documenting and preparing, and he was really interested on supporting us. So I hope it catches on. And barring anything that I may have missed, again, it's 8 o'clock. Thanks everybody for your time. I'm going to put my little bookend of a slide here. Hold on. Oh, hold on. That it all looks really good at the beginning, at the end. And I'm going to say good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Lou.
Thanks, Francisco.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right,
Good night,
take care.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.